everyone. My name is Dr. Sean Price, Clinical Coordinator here at the Fix in Fort Walton. And one of the things that we coach a lot of our patients through is time management and how to prioritize what your activities are. And I've sent over videos on checklists. I've sent over videos on, how to make sure you're getting the important things done. In this video, I want to kind of clarify how to fill up your day, how to make your daily to-do list more efficient, and how to determine what those activities are. In a previous video, I talked about the 4 quadrants of activity, and I pulled this from Stephen Covey in his book, The 7 Habits of Highly Successful People. And basically, there are 4 areas where an activity falls into. First one is it's urgent, but it's not important. And these are going to be our pebbles. These are going to be our pebbles, and I'll explain to you what that means in just a minute. But basically, you're urgent and you're not important. Those are things that feel urgent, but they're really not significant. They really don't matter if you do them. And the way that you can kind of qualify something as being important is, in a year from now, will that matter? Heck, even in a month from now, will it matter if you did that activity? So something that might feel urgent, but that is really not important, that really won't matter a year from now or a month from now if you actually carried out the activity, something like that might be getting on Facebook. You feel this urgent draw to get on Facebook and find out what so-and-so is doing and get up to date with that, or responding to an immediate email. Most of the time answering a phone call, answering a text, answering these things that happen that are really not that important that you don't do it right now. A lot of things like this might be texting and driving, things along those lines, okay? So urgent and not important, these are the things that feel urgent, but their value in your life is not important, okay? Next one is not urgent and also not important. So this is things like, let's say you have a favorite TV show and you've got it recorded and you feel like you need to get caught up on it or something like that. So it's not urgent because it's recorded, you're not going to miss anything, but it's also not important. It's not going to change your life if you don't see it. So not urgent and not important. Urgent and important, these are the fires. These are things that are important. They are going to matter if you do it, whether it matters a month down the road, a year down the road, or whatever. It is going to matter. And this is where a lot of patients are when they come into our office, because their health has gotten to a status where it is urgent that they fix it. Their pain level in their life has gotten so significant and so high that it's urgent and it's important for them to fix it. They really, really want to fix it. They really want to get their life back and get their energy back and be able to live their life to the fullest. And then not urgent but important, this is where you want to spend most of your day. So let's say you have a health condition, for example. Let's say that you have blood sugar dysregulation. Well, when the blood sugar dysregulation is happening, that becomes a fire in your life. That becomes an emergency that you've got to fix and you've got to put it out. So your life is being driven by urgent and important. Well, what happens when you start healing and you start feeling better, and it's no longer urgent because you feel better, your brain's working better, your energy is better, you're sleeping better, all these things are better. So it's no longer urgent because you're functioning better, but it's still important. So this is where you want to spend the majority of your day, the majority of your life, is doing the things that are not urgent but that are important. Exercising. It's not urgent that you exercise today. It's not. If you don't exercise today, the world's not going to collapse and everything's not going to fall apart, but your health is going to be weaker tomorrow than it was today. It's not urgent that you eat well today if you're not dealing with an acute crisis. It's not urgent that you read those self-help books and you meditate, you develop these daily habits that propel you forward. These things are not urgent, but they are important. And if you spend your time, the majority of your time in this quadrant, you're not going to have to deal with urgent and important because it's going to be handled naturally, okay? So how does that translate into figuring out your day? Well, your boulders are your not urgent and your important. So these are the things that are important. So for example, we wake up in the morning, my wife and I, the first thing we do is we get up, brush our teeth, get dressed for our workout, and the first thing we do is we work out. And the reason we do that is because that is not urgent, but it is important. It is going to matter a month, a year from now if we did it, and it's done. That's the first thing we do. So take the analogy of these 4 quadrants and put it into boulders, rocks, pebbles, and sand. How would you fill up a glass that has limited space, like your day has limited time? How would you fill this glass up so that you can get all of this in here? Okay, and if I actually had these substances, you would see that it would look like they wouldn't fit in there. Well, I'll tell you, if you fill your day up with sand and pebbles first, then you're going to fill up, let's say, to about this level, and you try to put a boulder or two in there, you're not going to have time for the boulders. Or you try to put a rock or two in there, you're not going to have time for those things. And that's what most people do, is they spend their day, because they don't plan their day out, and they end up spending their day chasing around these urgent and not urgent things that they feel like are important, and they feel like they spent their whole day doing absolutely nothing. And I know you know these people, it may not be you, but you know people who, for example, I had a family member that she was single, she had no children, you know, all these different things, and yet she never had time, quote unquote, to do anything that was important that she said she wanted to do. And it was because if you watched her day, she ran around doing all these things that were not important, whether they were urgent or not. But that's how she filled her day. So then she felt like she never had time. She never looked at it. And then you have people, you know, like myself, and I'm not a master of time management by any means, but I'm constantly striving for this. My wife and I run 3 businesses. We have 4 kids. We are constantly going. And it's very important that every single day we have it planned out as to what we're doing, so we get the important things done first, okay? So if you fill your day with pebbles and sand first, you're not going to have room for the rocks and the boulders. So what you do is, the first thing you do is you put your boulders on your schedule and you allot the time for that, okay? So if it's working out, you make sure that you have that workout on your schedule. If it's eating clean and maybe you need to do some prep time, you make sure that you have that prep time on your schedule. Those things go in first, because if you don't get anything else done, this will take care of all this, and your life will move forward the way you want it to. So the key is figuring out what your boulders are, and that's what we help our patients do. Next goes the rocks. These are your urgent and important. So these are fires that you need to put out, or things that maybe have time sensitivity to them. They're going to go in next. Now you've got your boulders and your rocks in here, but you've got all these spaces in between boulders and rocks, and that's where the pebbles and sand go in. The good thing about this is, even if the boulders and rocks take up your whole day and you never get to the pebbles and sand, your life still moved forward and you got the important things done. These are the natural tendencies of what we want to do, how we fill our day, because they're the things that kind of pop up easy and they're the comfortable things. These are the ones that are critical. So fill your day, your schedule, each night before you go to bed. Make your to-do list for the next day. Fill it up with your boulders and rocks first, and then work on your pebbles and sands with the extra time. Okay? I hope this makes sense. If you have any questions, please feel free to post below or give us a call at the office.